Here's one of the wires, and I hooked up to channel 3 and marked it accordingly. It's auxiliary. I got 2 of them. And let's see, focus it in. I heat shrink them together and heat shrink the extension so that goes into the box. And that way you don't have to hook up every time you want to hook up something to it. And that's for the tail lights, and if you want to hook something else up to it. I ran the headlight or the bucket kit here. I ran the bucket lights directly channel 4, and I protected the wiring with some heat shrink tubing, which also goes, let's see, that goes through here. Sorry, not the best filming here. All the way around the side. I tacked it down with some super glue, CA glue. Like I said, and then everything's like neatly tucked in, heat shrinked. Got rid of all these extra wire zip tied messes, bird's nests that were everywhere. It's got new shocks. Not crazy about them, you know. Unless you spend $60, $70 for shocks, you're gonna get what you pay for. They're okay, you know. Took them all apart and cleaned them and put rubber seals on them and O-rings, and they're working all right. But they're, I don't know, better than stock. So, and they look nice. So looks really don't do the thing for performance, but they do perform better than the stock ones, I guess. So I don't know. I might send them back to Amazon and upgrade them a little bit. I'm not sure I'm too crazy about these. They were $25, and you get what you pay for. So one of them was sticking a little bit on me, and I got it to loosen up. So they might be all right. They're okay. I put 40 weight shock oil in it. I might knock it back down to 30. I don't know. I think it'll be all right for the time being. So we'll see. But I might upgrade this to brushless too, because I'm not crazy about this motor upgrade. It's an Apex with a fan built in, and it's all right. But you know, the brushless or the brush motors, I don't know. They seem to be getting harder to find. Everything's going to brushless now, and that, you know, for a little bit of extra money, you get the ESC and stuff. That seems to be the way to go. Everybody's going to brushless now because for a little bit extra money. Focus is really not good on this here, but there we go. That's better. But anyway, to the wired thing, clean that up a lot. I finally figured out with this original 2-wheel drive Stampede I got in the 90s. When I talked to Traxxas, and they said, yeah, you can upgrade it. You know, you could use the regular 2-wheel drive Stampede parts, which is what basically a Gravedigger is. And yeah, they're right. But it's like every part I upgraded, the next one needed to be upgraded. So it's kind of like a domino effect. When you start buying one part, you got to get another part, and you got to get another part. So I ended up kind of doing that. Everything was pretty close. I replaced the gearbox because certain parts didn't fit properly. I mean, they kind of did, but you know, being $10 for a gearbox, what's the big deal? So I wasn't comfortable with the old one. Some of the screws were a little stripped out, and I didn't like it. And then like the slipper clutch didn't have the pin screw to hold the new slipper clutch that I rebuilt, so I had to get, you know, it's on and on thing. So I just had to keep going with that. So pretty much everything, even like the drive shafts or the heavier duty plastic Traxxas ones. Trying to get a better focus here for you so you can see it. But the wiring, yeah, I cleaned that up a bunch. Like I said, I had gobs of wires all over. I got to do that with the other two. They got wiring bundles all over because of the lighting, especially the Gravedigger. I got tons of lights on that, but most of the lights are up inside the body and they're tacked down. Let me turn this thing off. Yeah, that's better. So yeah, I found the plate. I forgot the part number, 3626 or something, but yeah, the whole mounting plate. I'm sitting here trying to design a way to mount the waterproof receiver because the original Stampede never came with one. It was just open. And I was like, whoa, that just kind of threw me when I saw that. I'm like, okay. So I kind of took some styrene plastic and doubled it up and made my own. And I mounted the ESC on the back, like you see in the pictures. And then mounted this waterproof receiver, which is not the stock one, but it is Traxxas. That was like $10 or something. And I mounted that. The hole, you can see the hole there. Well, yeah, there's a couple holes here, right here, and there, and mounted it. But then it was like on a downward angle. I think it was causing a little vibration in the front. It was just throwing the balance. Everything about it was pitched on a downward angle. So when I had to get in there to mess with the wiring to hook things up and stuff and change things, it was very difficult to work with hooking up the receiver connections, channel wiring, and it was just a pain in the butt to work on the receiver box, get in there with the disconnecting wires and I just didn't like it. It just didn't look right. It worked, but it was a bad idea. It was a learning curve because I didn't even think about I could put a plate on there, which $3 part, and that's the other thing I've learned is these $3, $4 parts on Amazon. They're $8 or $9 because when they're selling a $3 part on Amazon, they don't make any money unless they throw that $5 surcharge into it to pay for shipping. So these $3 parts, like things like the plate and stuff, the base plate, or like washers that are $3, $2, they upcharge you an extra $5 automatically on cheap items like that. And I'm sure most of you guys already are fully aware of that. I'm just throwing it out there because it's something I kind of picked up on recently. Because I have a local hobby shop not too far away that's really good. Graves Lake Hobby World in Graves Lake, Illinois. Awesome place. Guy's got an inventory that'll blow your mind. I mean, he had that plate in stock. Who carries an oddball item like that? I was able to just go pick it up, $3 on Amazon. It's like $8, So there you go. I mean, $5 for shipping, and they say free Amazon Prime shipping. Okay, yeah. When you order something that's over $15 or something, then you're getting a deal. But when you're ordering a cheap item like that, you're paying for the shipping. Don't kid yourself. That's just a marketing thing. But anyway, getting back to this, I think that's a lot. I'm much more satisfied with it. And like I said, another little trick there is save yourself a lot of time and aggravation, and throw one of these, for like $7 or $8, you can get a bunch of these extensions, and for $7, $8, you'll get a bunch of them that are 3-way splitters, 2-way splitters, 1-way extensions. You get like 3 3-ways, 3 2-ways, 3 or 4 1-ways. I mean, you get a bag of them. You get plenty. I actually bought an extra bag because it's such a good deal, and they're just great to have on hand. And I hooked one up to my channel 3, and now when I use this, one of these I use to hook up the tail lights on this particular one, and then now I have an extra one. uh, this is just for the Stampede, so I only need it for the tail lights. But like on, and then I got the other Stampede I use for the tail lights. But like on the Gravedigger, uh, that one's got multiple lights. I got side lights for the ghost eyes. Um, I've got the tail lights. I've got the red lights in the front. Uh, so and then I've got the bucket lights on all 3 of them in the front. Those flood lights. There's like 4 each in each one. So it really pays to put these on there because it's just a quick plug-in. You don't have to tear apart your receiver box when you want to hook up an extra item. You can hook up a fan. You can hook up lights. You can hook up, there's a lot of different things. Sound system, whatever. There's just a lot of different, there's always things you can hook up. They've got all kinds of things to enhance your vehicles, and I really like the lights, like these strip lights on the bottom I got, that requires a plug-in. So that's also plugged in. That, like right in here, there's a bunch of stuff. I got plugged into this right back in here, which also, there's really no way to hide all that stuff. I got like the strip lights and stuff, so they're plugged in there. But then I heat shrink that to keep it from falling apart. Because when you get out there and start really banging these things around and banging into things and getting rough with them, they can knock them loose. Especially like with the Gravedigger, I got a lot of lights hooked up on that, and you pull a wire loose or something, all of a sudden the lights start flickering on. One of your light receiver connections will come loose, and it's frustrating when that happens in the middle of a run. So it doesn't hurt to heat shrink your extension connections. You can't, of course, heat shrink your connection when you plug them in on the top. And see, I'll show you what I'm talking about here. See, I just got a little connector, and I just plug it into one of these channels here, and it goes right to your little tail lights, and boom, you're good. Make sure the black is on the black all the time, or it's not going to work right. And I think it enhances it a lot. These LED strip lights on the bottom they're the best. I've got them on all 3 of my cars, and you can see they're not that big a deal. You cut them to your length. I got them coming over the edge. They got the 3M peel and stick. Just make sure you clean them with alcohol. Run them to the length you want and cut them, stick them on there, and then, sorry, the focus is really shitty. And then I put a little shoe glue on the ends to tack them down, make sure they don't pop up, because that's where you're going to have your issues, on the ends. That's where the glue is going to come up. They're going to start peeling up on you in the ends, but that shoe glue is like magic. Out of all the glues I've used for all kinds of different things, that stuff, it's got a little bit of a smell to it. I actually don't mind it. Not in the model glue or anything, but I kind of like that smell, as long as you're well ventilated in your house or wherever. I wouldn't, get too involved with that, but the stuff is amazing. You just can't play around with it. You put it on and leave it. You start picking around at it and moving it, it's going to get all messed up and turn foggy on you, and you're gonna end up having to pull it off and redo it. I use the end of a plastic paintbrush, kind of like one of these things. Just stick it in the tip of the shoe glue deal thing. This here, it's like $8 a tube. You can get it at your local hardware store. Order it on Amazon. It'll last you a long time. Get the clear, and like, where have I got it here? This is the wrong side. I am not happy with the balance on this, but I'm not gonna stop now. But like you can see here, I took the heat shrink and like this wire here, just make it look better, and it will protect it, I guess, to a point. I just tacked it in, you know, nicely. Heat shrinked it all up, couple things with some super glue, and then kicker to hold it down. And it makes it look better, protects the wire, and hides it, so I don't have this bird's nest of wire. Now I'm going to give you an example of a bird's nest of wire here. There, okay, this is what I'm talking about. You know, it's just, I don't like it. I'm into detail, and that just doesn't work for me. I mean, it works for now, but I gotta fix it. It's just another project, you know. When you got a budget and whatever, you need something to do, that's a great project, doesn't cost nothing to do. You know, if you got some heat shrink and stuff like that, and just take a little time and clean it up, you know. But since I was changing these boxes over and stuff, I figured, hey, this is a good opportunity to clean up the wiring and see how it works out for me. And I'm very happy. I'm very satisfied. Be careful with the heat gun, though. You don't want to melt. Those are thin little wires and stuff, so you gotta be careful. Just take your time and take it slow. You don't, you know, you gotta use the right size heat shrink if you know, and if it's only gonna melt so far. So if you think you're gonna melt it farther than you think it's gonna go, don't kid yourself. You will melt those little wires. I mean, as you can see, this is only as far as it's gonna. I'm so not happy with that focus. Darn it. Let's see. I can't stop this or it'll end the video. Anyway, that's pretty good. On the way, but whatever. Yeah, it'll only melt so far, but it's almost down to where it should be. I just don't have good lighting in here. Whatever. But it does protect it. It looks good. And you got to be able to get it over that channel connector pin or whatever. And if you can't, then you're not going to, you know, you got to get the smallest size, but it's got to fit over that receiver channel connector thing. But it does look a lot better, and it will protect it. So you ain't got all wally little wires everywhere. So anyway, enough waffling. As my friend Kevin Talbot would say, great channel, by the way, on YouTube. The guy, well, he's a little crazy, and he loves to bash the heck out of his cars. But his buddy Raz Schiffrin, or whatever, Schiffrin, I don't know. That guy is amazing. You got to check out his channel on YouTube. Unbelievable with detail and engineering, and he sells his own carbon fiber parts, and oh my gosh, I mean, funny, smart. He's a genius. Unfortunately, I don't have the budget to keep up with him. But definitely, if you want to learn about RC stuff, that's the guy. That is the guy. And Kevin, of course. I mean, he's definitely very good at what he does. He's got like 100 RC cars, everything from crawlers to helicopters to you name it. And he does a lot of wrenching live. And he's got an actual monster truck that he built from scratch. Ordered it. He lives in the UK. Ordered it a couple years ago. Came over in pieces in a crate, and he built it from the ground up and raced it, and actually did very well in the UK. And just an amazing guy. All positive energy. And his buddy Raz also. He's from Israel, I believe. And wow, I mean, nothing but positive energy and a lot of laughs from these guys. And they're both very smart, intelligent people, and successful, very successful people. And that's what I'm looking for. So I'm really messing up this video, and I'm talking way too much. So with that, it's almost 4 o'clock in the morning, and I think I'm gonna stop for now. So I normally don't talk a lot in my videos, but I wanted to share this with you guys, and hopefully it'll help you guys out a little bit. Have a great night and be safe out there. Take it easy.